Hello friends, myself Sampath Kumar. In this video, we are going to talk about consolidated financial statements. This is the second part. In the first part, we were covering all the theoretical aspects like what is this pre-acquisition dividend, post-acquisition dividend, how do we account it, and what happens if we make a error, and how do we make that rectification of entry. All those things we have discussed in part 1. If at all you are watching this video for the first time, I request you to watch the first video and then come back and watch the second part. Yeah, so let's start. And one more thing, in this video mostly our focus will be on the calculations, like we will be solving the illustrations given in ICA material, illustration 1, 2, 3, and not just that we are getting an answer, but we will get some concept out of it. So I'll be solving the illustrations. If you happen to be a CA student, open your book and now keep this question in front of you. Yes, I'll explain the question. There are 4 cases, like they want us to solve the question as per case 1, case 2, case 3, case 4. We will be solving 2 cases here on the board. The rest remaining 2 you can solve on your own. I'll explain the question, and as I'm keep telling in every video, it is not just the numbers. Forget about the numbers. What is the concept and how we can apply the same concept in other problem. That is something that we should be really bothered about. Yeah, coming to this question. There is a holding company naming X. Take an example. I am holding company. My name is X. So I am purchasing shares of another company. Take an example Y. Okay. So this is a company Y. I am purchasing the share capital of Y. How much I am purchasing? 90%. In the last video I have explained, whatever is held by you is holding company's shareholding pattern. The remaining will be minority interest. In simple word, for Y Limited, obviously they will be having 100% of the capital, 100% of the ownership. Out of that 100% of the ownership, I am purchasing 90%. So 90% is held by the holding company, which means it is more than 51%. And then the remaining, which the question is not telling, but indirectly it means the remaining 10%, you call it as that minority interest. All the small shareholders combined together, we call them as minority interest. Understand the structure of it. In a company, I am the father, like I am the holding company, I am purchasing 90% share capital. So 90% is held by me, and the remaining percentage is held by the other shareholder, who we are calling as minority interest. Then what is the concept here, sir? Concept here is whatever is there in that company. Take an example, in this Y Limited, whatever is happening, only 90% you are eligible to eat, 90% you are eligible for the profits, the remaining 10% will go to minority interest. Okay, so cost is 1.4 lakh. So this is the amount I am spending. So if you are watching this video, after watching my first video, you will be understanding. I am purchasing this calculator. This 1,40,000 is what? 1,40,000 is what I am paying for. I am going to a shop. I am asking the shopkeeper, like, what is the price of this? What is the cost of this calculator? He is saying 140 rupees or 140,000. So this is the cost. But that is not the only thing. I also need to understand what is the value of it. Value ka matlab, what is the net assets or net worth of the company. The difference between these two either will give me goodwill or it will give me cost of control or capital reserve. Okay, so it's all theoretical, which I have explained in the earlier video, but today we'll focus on the numbers, like how calculation of goodwill or capital reserve. And by no stretch of your imagination, this is a formula. Don't think that, okay, this is a formula, I should be remembering it. Don't remember it like it a formula. Remember as if you are going to a shop and purchasing an item. What you are paying is a cost. What you are getting is the value. You are going to a shop. You are paying 1,40,000. So that is the first part. Cost of investment. How much you are paying? 1,40,000. See, I am trying to elaborate it so The only reason is that for the upcoming illustration, the same logic you can use it. Be the question whatever it could be, but use the same logic, you'll get the answer. Okay. So again, come back to our discussion. 1,40,000 is what I am paying. So that is the cost of investment minus pre-acquisition dividend. What is this? I have explained thoroughly in the first part, which means that even before I became the owner of that calculator, even before I became the owner of this calculator, it started giving me some results. See, calculator won't give any results. Take an example like if a property. You are purchasing a building, but the day you are purchasing the building, tenants are coming and giving you the owner, the rent part. So you can say that rent, whatever you are receiving as an owner, is not your revenue. It is a revenue of that owner only, but because on that date you are the owner, you are receiving it. In simple words, when X Limited is purchasing the shares in Y Limited, this is a cost, right? But out of that cost, you are receiving something which you are not the owner of. So in simple terms, I can say that is a pre-acquisition dividend. You are not the owner. So we should deduct that pre-acquisition dividend here. In this question, it is silent, but still I am writing. Reason being, for the other illustrations or other examination questions, you can apply the logic. So you will get it here as total of A, 1,40,000, and the B part is, again use the same calculator logic. What you are paying, this part is what you are paying. B part is what you are receiving. What all you will receive? You will receive the capital, share capital plus, or I'll write share capital only. Share capital plus capital profits. Sir, what is this, sir? You're trying to confuse. This portion is what you are paying to the shopkeeper. Okay, to that business, how much ever you are paying, that is 1,40,000. This part is what you are receiving. You are receiving the share capital, you are receiving the capital profits, or other way you can say this is your net assets or net worth. Right? So here in this question, what you are receiving? You are purchasing 90% of the equity, which means that you are owner of that company's assets to the extent of 90%. In simple words, on the date of acquisition, this is their net worth. Share capital plus P&L is 1 lakh plus 50,000, 1.5 lakh. Out of that 1.5 lakh, 90% is yours. So you can write 1,35,000. Understand the logic. I am taking more time than you might be thinking, but the reason, one logic is sufficient for the entire chapter. For the entire group 2 accounts, this is enough. But when you come to CA final level, there other masala will be there. But for time being, this is what you are paying, 1,40,000. This is what you are receiving, 1,35,000. Think in a simple terms, you are paying 1,40,000, but you are receiving the value of 1,35,000, which means that you are paying more. Why do you pay more for a product? See, for this product, why do I pay more? Maybe it is having some value, some goodwill. Okay, so that is 5,000 goodwill. Okay, so that is the answer for part A, case A. Okay, the first part is what is a minority interest. Minority interest, I told you, because we are holding 90% stake, which means the remaining everything else is held by the minority interest. How much? 10% off. On the date of acquisition, it is 1 lakh plus 50,000, 1,50,000. Out of 1,50,000, 90% has gone into this calculation. So 10% will come into this calculation, 1.5. So 15,000. Understanding? On the date of acquisition, the net assets are 1,50,000. Of 1,50,000, 1,35,000 is going into your cost of capital, cost of control calculations, and the remaining 50,000 is going to minority interest. For a bigger problem, this will be helpful for you. Yes. And coming back to the other part, what is saying is, on the date of acquisition, you got a profit of or the goodwill of 5,000. But what is happening here, you see, on the date of acquisition, the P&L is 50,000. On the date of consolidation, 70,000. So how do you deal with this? I'll take time, but we try to understand. We will not be in a rush to complete the answers. That is always the case in my classes. See what is today? I wrote it here only. Today is 12th of June, right? Today I am purchasing the shares of this X Limited. I got a goodwill of 5,000. I'll write it on my asset side as a goodwill intangibles. Fine. But when do I consolidate? 31st March 2021. Okay, so 31st March 2021, I will start consolidating the next year. On that date, your P&L is showing your P&L is showing us 70,000. P&L on the date of acquisition is 50,000. Now we will try to apply the concept which we have learned in the last session. When you are purchasing the company, there was a profit of 50,000. Did you take this 50,000 into your P&L? I'm asking you a question. If you are in front of me, I would have asked this. On the date of acquisition, you are purchasing one company there, Y Limited. On the date of acquisition, the day when you are purchasing the shares of Y Limited, there is a profit of 50,000. Is this 50,000 going into your pocket? It's not going. It is going into this calculation, 1,35,000. I mean, like, out of this 1,35,000, this 35,000 relates to that P&L only. 50,000 multiplied by 90%. Okay, what is 90? Yeah, 45,000. Out of this 50,000, 45 out of this 50,000, 45 is coming here, and out of this 1,90,000 is coming. Like this 1,35,000, how it is coming? 90% of capital, 90,000. 90% of your P&L, 45,000. Combinedly, it is coming as 1,35,000. Understand that jumble of numbers. On the date of acquisition, there is a profit of 50,000. That 50,000 is not going into your pocket. That is directly going into your cost of control calculation. Okay, so this we are calling it as a capital profit. The capital profit is coming into this calculation only. Getting? But after the date of acquisition, the company has earned 20,000 rupees as a profit. How? Nowhere in the question he has said. But understand, on the date of acquisition, there is a profit of, there is a P&L of 50,000. On the date of consolidation, when you are doing that consolidation of your company into their company, the P&L is showing 70,000, which implies that there is an increase of profit of 20,000. Out of this 20,000, can you take it into your P&L? You can take it. Post acquisition profit, you are eligible to take it into your P&L. How much you can take? Out of 20,000, only 90% is yours. 20,000 multiplied by 90%, you will take it into your P&L account. Remaining 10% will go to this minority interest. Understanding the logic? On the date of acquisition, whatever was a profit, that is going into 90% into your calculation, 10% into minority interest calculation. Post acquisition, whatever is a profit, out of which 90% is going into your P&L, 10% is going into minority interest. Okay, so this is one side of a coin. We will take a different example now. See, you might think that I'm trying to confuse you. It is not confusion. We are spending more time on the areas which might be difficult for us tomorrow. Okay, so if we try to quickly escape from these difficult areas, tomorrow we might face a problem in the examination. See, whatever the format I have given, the same format you can use it for other illustrations also. so that you get no, the thought process. First, cost of acquisition minus pre-acquisition dividend, first part. B, share capital plus capital reserve. You compare both. You either get goodwill or capital profit. Yes. Come to the second point. In second point, we are acquiring 80%, 85% of the equity. When you are purchasing 85%, which means that out of this 100, 85 you are purchasing, and the remaining 15% is this minority interest. This is your holding company's stake. Don't focus on the calculation or the presentation, but understand the logic. You are purchasing 85%, which means the remaining 15 is minority interest. And how much you are spending? 1,04,000. Use the same calculator example. The amount that you are paying is here, cost of investment. How much you are spending? 1,04,000. You write it in the inner column, 1,04,000. See, for first a few illustrations, it will be like a complex issue. Array, what is he teaching? I'm finding it difficult. But after 2-3 illustrations, instead of watching or listening, you can only solve on your own. Okay. So you are spending 1,04,000. So 1,04,000 is cost of your investment. Pre-acquisition dividend, in this question it is silent. So when it is silent, don't write anything, just write nil. 1,04,000 is your part A calculation. Come to part B. Share capital में आपका हिस्सा कितना है? It is your 85%. So 1 lakh. Now you see the second part. 1 lakh into 85%, or combine both into 85%. Anyway, that both are one and the same. 1,30,000 into 85% will give you 1,10,500. Okay, if it is a positive, it is a goodwill, it is a negative, it is a capital reserve, I don't know that. Don't go into that logic. You understand? You are spending 1,04,000, you are getting more value. You are going to a shop and paying for 10 rupees, but you are getting a product of 50 rupees. So it's your profit, right? So in the same way, it is your capital profit. $6,100. You see, only for the case here, it take case 3, case 4 should take very less. Fine. What we have found out that the minority interest is 15%. So this is as a percentage, but we need as an amount, right? What you can do? 1,30,000, because we are solving case 2. 1,30,000 into 19,500. So we got two calculations. One is a capital reserve, capital profit, sorry, and 19,500 is a minority interest. But this is a tricky point. You try to understand this. On the date of acquisition, there is a profit of 30. You purchased it, but after you became the owner of the company has made a loss of 10,000. So this is a loss. Will it go to your cost of control calculations? Absolutely no, because this is a post acquisition. This is the date on which you acquired, right? इसके बाद में जो भी होता, that will So that is how you can solve the case 3, case C and case D also. I'm sure you can do it on your own. So I will not be solving it on the board. Yes, I'll explain the question. Again, our focus will be on application of it, not the numbers. Okay. So this is XYZ limited. By now you will be able to understand this 1,40,000 is nothing but your cost of investment when you are doing acquisition. When you are purchasing that company, their balance sheet is looking like this, so that is their net worth. Period, they got a profit of 20,000. Just now I was explaining this is a post acquisition profit, and they have also declared 15,000 as a dividend. So there is a the expectation has increased from the institute. Like in the earlier illustration, it is only how do you deal. Now post acquisition profit, post acquisition dividend, how do you deal it? So what is he exactly asking in the question? You see once, what is the amount of minority interest as on first, okay, on that date, what is the minority interest? So what you write? MI, minority interest. How much? When you are purchasing 80%, which is implied that the remaining 20 is held by the minority interest. So at 20% of what? On the date of acquisition, whatever is the net worth. There on the date of acquisition, it is 1 lakh plus 60, 1,60,000. So I am writing it in a short way, but you write it properly in the examination. 32,000. Yes. So 32,000 is the minority interest or the minority interest value on the date of acquisition. What else is asking? What is the amount of minority interest as on 1st Jan 2016? So this is as on 1st Jan 2016 and 31st December 2016. 31st December 2016. See, when you are consolidation at the end of the year also, it is 20% because there is no change or fluctuation in the interest portion. 20% will hold goods, 20% of this amount will change. How that will change? It's not a formula. 20% of what? 20% of the net worth, which means share capital में उन लोगों का 20% आना चाहिए. So share capital 1 lakh. P&L. What is the value of P&L? This is a P&L on the date of acquisition. On the date of acquisition, there is a 60,000 profit. During the period, they got a profit of 20,000. So P&L will look like this. I'll write it here. On acquisition, the profit is 60,000. It is not a formula. Don't think it's a formula. He's teaching some formula. I'll make a note of it. Nothing like a formula. Try to understand the logic of it. On the date of acquisition. Now today is acquisition date. My P&L is 60,000. During the period I earned a profit. When I'm earning profit, will my P&L increase or decrease? It will increase, right? So plus post acquisition जो भी profit आया, that profit is 20,000. 20,000 minus dividend. Sir, why are you deducting dividend? When I am declaring dividend, will I not hit my P&L? Should I be writing P&L? Say when I am declaring dividend, will I declare P&L out of my capital or out of my P&L? So this question should not be coming for the advanced or second group students. Okay. So when I am declaring dividend, obviously that will hit my P&L. How much? 15,000. So 15,000. So in effect, I can say 65,000 is my closing P&L or P&L or as on the date of consolidation. Understanding, it's not like a formula. Today P&L is 60. When I'm earning profit, it is increasing. When I'm declaring dividend, it is decreasing. So ultimately it is coming to 65,000. So 65,000, I'll write it here. So total it is 1,65,000 into 20%. 33,000. Okay. So what is he asked in the question? He has asked what is the minority interest on the date of acquisition? Yes. What is the minority interest on the date of consolidation or at the end of the year? Yes. We got for 6 marks. Arjun may default to 2 marks. Okay. So that is only part of a question, it's not yet done. Also please, so he's requesting, yeah. Also please check whether there should be any goodwill or capital reserve at the date of acquisition. Should there be any goodwill or capital reserve? That's the question, right? How do we do that? In the last two problems we have done the same thing. There is a format kind of a thing I have given you. Apply the same format. Cost of A, cost of investment. How much did you spend? Spend 1,40,000. Don't confuse this with this. This is their strength on the date of acquisition. This is the amount you are spending, giving it to them. You are going to a shop, you are purchasing a calculator, you are purchasing it for this much money, you are getting in return out of this much money. Okay, the difference is your goodwill or capital reserve. Like cost of investment is 1,40,000, so we will write 1,40,000 here minus pre-acquisition dividend, if at all given in the question. In this question it is silent, but still I am writing just to make it as a habit. Okay, so 1,40,000 is my cost of investment. B, what is that? Whatever I am getting, so that is nothing but combine these two. Share capital 1 lakh multiplied by 80%, P&L 60,000, because this is also a capital profit, right? P&L on the date of acquisition is always a capital profit. Combined 1,60,000 into 80%. $1,60,000 multiplied by 80%, so 1,28,000. Write it here. So remaining 12,000. I am spending more or less? I am spending more only. See, I am spending 1,40,000. I am getting a value of 1,28,000. So the remaining 12,000 is my goodwill. Okay. I hope that answer is right. Yes. So now again there is a small thing is asked in the question. Post acquisition dividend, there is dividend of 15,000. See, this is a calculation on the date of acquisition. After the acquisition, the company has earned a profit of 20, out of which 15,000 they have declared dividend. So usme se 80% will go to your pocket. The remaining 20% will go to minority interest, for which you will be silent. You will not be making any entry for that, because see, you are purchasing a company, that company is giving a dividend. When that is giving, that amount is coming into your P&L, right? So you will be writing an entry. Remaining 20% is going to the minority interest. All chutke people are receiving. How do you write an entry for them? You will not write an entry for that. Okay. So 15,000 into 80%, 12,000. So how do you write it? Again, for this also I made a video as to how to write the journal entries. When you are receiving 12,000, that is cash or bank debit 12,000, and you will hit your P&L without any dot, because this is a post acquisition dividend. Post acquisition dividend is eligible to be taken into your P&L. So you are taking, this is your profit, right? So profit will be credited, credit all incomes and gains. So you are crediting P&L, bank debit the receiver, or cash what comes in debit. So bank account debit 12,000 to P&L 12,000. You will debit and credit these two accounts. Okay. So remaining, again there is a change of 5,000 in P&L. That out of this 5,000, remaining amount also will go into your P&L, but that for that we will not write any entry, because that is not given, asked in the question. I am hoping that the concept is clear. When we are solving the entire picture of like two companies' total balance sheets, you will get the maximum clarity of how each and every item will be dealt. But as of now, this is like a chutki questions. If we solve these questions with the confidence, the major questions we will start with the confidence. Yes, so 2 illustrations are done. I am moving on to illustration 3. Again, I'll write it on the board for the better clarity. Again, it is not just to get an answer, it is to apply our concept. Same concept we try to apply in each illustration. Then we will see whether my concept is right or the question is wrong. Okay, there should be only 2 possibilities. Either the instructor is wrong or I am wrong. Okay, it cannot be both. So same concept you should use it for, say, wherever the same concept is applied, then our applicability will be increased, right? So illustration 3, X Limited acquired 70% of equity of Z Limited as on 31st March 2017. So this is X Limited. They are purchasing 70% of Z as on 31st March 2017 at a cost of 70 lakh. So what is this 70 lakh? I need not tell you. I was shorting from all my sessions. This is the cost of your investment. Whenever you are doing that calculation now, that goodwill or capital reserve, this will be taken as a cost of investment. I am repeating the same point because in examination you will get 4 marks out of it. Okay. And then the following information is available from the balance sheet of Z Limited as on 31st March 2017. So the date of acquisition, they have given the balance sheet. Sir, why? In the earlier question, he made it simple because he wanted us to test other logic. Now he is testing the other side of the logic also. The logic is they have given the balance sheet. Fixed assets 120 lakh. Investment 55 lakh. Current asset 70 lakh. 15% debentures 90 lakh. Current liability 50 lakh. And also they have given that fixed assets are up by 20%. This 50%, these fixed assets, there is an increase in the value by 20%, and investment down by 10%. The value of the investment is going down by 10%. Okay. Z Limited declared and paid dividend of 20% on its equity share capital as on 31st March 2017. So on the date of acquisition, sir, how are you saying? Sir, how are you saying that this is on the date of acquisition? Because at the beginning of the question is said, we are purchasing on 31st March 2017. On the same date, they are declaring dividend. See, today I am purchasing one company. On the same day only they are declaring dividend. Means am I the owner to the dividend? Am I eligible to take that into my P&L? No. This is pre-acquisition dividend. Dividend declared out of pre-acquisition profits. Understand the logic. Today is what? I'll spend more time. It's okay. But get the concepts clear now itself so that you will not struggle in CA final. Today is 12th of June. Okay. Today I am purchasing a company. Today only they are declaring dividend. Means am I the owner to that dividend? Am I eligible to take that into my P&L? No. When they are declaring today, which implies that they are declaring out of the profits earned prior to the acquisition. Even before I became the owner of that company, they might have earned some profit, which is indirectly visible here. They are owner of some company. They have earned some profits. Out of that profit, they are declaring a dividend. Though I am receiving in my hands, it is not my cash or it's not my profit. The profit should try to go down to my cost of investment. Meaning, if I am spending 70 lakhs, out of this 70 lakhs, there could be some portion which is a pre-acquisition dividend. That pre-acquisition dividend, we should deduct it from the cost of investment. I told in the other session also, the logic of deducting from the cost of investment is that because the company is declaring today, there might be some overvaluation in the share market or in the outside market. So obviously this price is inclusive of that pre-acquisition dividend, because when I am receiving it, I should deduct it from the cost of investments only. Okay, so that is the logic I explained, but today we try to apply. सी इट इज़ नॉट जस्ट सफिशिएंट ओके, अगर प्री एक्विजिशन है तो उसमें से निकालो, पोस्ट एक्विजिशन तो इसमें से निकालो, उसका लॉजिक भी समझना चाहिए. या सो कंपनी इज डिक्लेयरिंग अ डिविडेंड ऑफ 20%. इज इट 20%? 20% on equity shares. 20% on equity shares. X Limited purchased the share price at 20 per share. Okay, so this is 20 per share. And what are they asking? Calculate the amount of goodwill capital reserve on the date of acquisition of Z Limited. Yes. Goodwill or capital reserve. So it's a nice question. Pay more attention. And I'll repeat my point. Whatever the logic we were applying for the last 3-4 illustration, same logic will apply but get the same answer. I mean like the answer given in the question. Okay. Then only we can be sure that the logic that we are applying is correct. Okay. What I was saying, first A part, the A part should be cost of investment. Cost of investment. What is that? They have given in the question 70 lakh. You can simply write 70 lakh is the cost of investment. I slowly rub this because I am writing in a broader letters so that it is visible to everybody. Okay. So cost of investment is 70 lakhs. 70 lakhs is the cost of investment. I told that pre-acquisition dividend should be deducted. As a formula you can remember, but as a logic also I told, because this investment cost is inclusive of the pre-acquisition dividend. How do we know, sir, what is the pre-acquisition dividend? On the date of acquisition they said 20% they have declared dividend. Okay, so how much they might have declared? 70 lakhs into 20%? Absolutely wrong. Absolutely wrong. Okay, so we should find out what is the capital. See, if I'm the company, when I say I'm declaring 10% as a dividend, what does that mean? Out of my capital, 10% I'm giving as a dividend. If it's a 20% out of my capital, 20% I'm giving as a dividend. So the thought process should come like this. Okay, he's declaring 20%. Don't blindly go and add these everything and multiply it by 20 or multiply it by 20. No, give some thought process. The thought process should be like, is declaring 20%. 20% of what? 20% of capital. I'll write and I'll rub also. 20% of capital they are declaring as a dividend. So that is the first trigger should come. 20% of capital. Then what do you mean by that capital? I don't know what is the capital, right? But somewhere in the question he has given some hints that we should pick it up. How you can say, I am purchasing 70%. I am purchasing 70% capital. In the question they said, some companies are purchasing another company 70% of capital. So the total capital, the capital of investment divided by 70, you will get 100. But first of all, we should understand what is that 70 also. In the question they are not said how many shares they are purchasing. Even the shares also not given, right? That we should find out. Shares of acquisition. How many shares we acquired? I don't know. See, if I'm X, what I'm saying, I'm purchasing your 70%, I'm paying you 70 lakhs. What is that 70? 70% of your capital, that I don't know. I'm paying you 70 lakhs. That is an amount. But how do I know how much capital I'm getting? For that, there is a clue. 70 lakhs I'm paying for total shares. Each share I'm purchasing at 20 per share. Now you can say 70 lakh is the amount I'm paying. For each share I'm paying 20 rupees, which means, I'm not good with mathematics, 3,50,000 shares I'm purchasing. Get the logic. And also don't listen to my logic. You start thinking on your own. I am purchasing with 70 lakh rupees. Each share I am spending 20. Iska matlab I might have purchased 3.5 lakhs. 3.5 lakh into 20 shares, you will get 70 lakhs, right? So that's how you are trying to find out how many shares you are purchasing. So this is 70% stake. Then what is 100% capital? These 3.5 lakh shares, what you are talking about is only 70%. Then what is 100%? If you are coming from CPT, you would be doing this, right? 3.5 lakh divided by 70%. So 5 lakh is the total capital. Getting? 5 lakh is the total capital. So when the company is saying 20%, don't forget where we started. Okay, we started here. Company is paying 20% dividend. 20% of 5 lakh capital. So 5 lakh rupees, 5 lakhs is not the amount. 5 lakhs is the number of shares. 10 rupees is the value of the shares into 20% they are giving as a dividend. So 5 lakh multiplied by 10, 50 lakh, 20%. So 10 lakh is the dividend, out of which our percentage is only 70%. So 7 lakhs is our pre-acquisition dividend. Are you understanding? I am trying to give you the logic. You have to apply on your own. We have started here first. Cost of investment. The question is given 70 lakhs, out of which we needed to deduct pre-acquisition dividend. I don't know what that pre-acquisition dividend. I made a calculation. For that calculation, I am receiving 70% of 20% of capital. I don't know what is that capital. For that, the indirect way of coming here is 7 lakhs is a dividend. So I'll write 7 lakhs here. Now I can say 63 lakhs is my net investment. So this is how you have to pick up from the question which information is relevant for you and how to make use of it. The same concept will apply for your costing also. When you are solving your costing questions, there will be plenty of information in the question. Out of that information, you have to pick up which line item you have to start with and how you can proceed with the answer. Okay. I wrapped the question, but I hope you made a note of it. Yeah. So what we have done so far, cost of investment is 70, of which 7 lakhs is a pre-acquisition dividend. So 63 lakhs is my A. And the B is what? Share capital plus capital profit. This is what I was telling you from the last 2-3 videos, right? Or 2-3 illustrations. Now apply this. Share capital has he given in the question? He has given. Now we found out also. Of which 70% you can do, you will get it. But this capital profit you don't know, right? Like you don't know what is the capital profit on the date of acquisition. The easiest way is you find out the net worth. When the entire balance sheet is given like this in the question, what you can do? You can find out the net worth. See, if you see this balance sheet, you will have your capital here, P&L or general ledger or whatever. Here you will have current, fixed assets, current assets. Here current liabilities. In questions, see, I am giving you a broader picture. You try to try to understand this. Sometimes he might be giving only this information. What you will do? Add up these two, multiplied by 70%, you will get it here. You write it there. But if this is not given, don't lose your heart. You add up these two, deduct this, you will get net worth or net assets, multiplied by 70%, again you will get the same thing. Okay? So that is something that you have to understand. So what I can say, whatever the assets they are given, I'll take it at revalued amounts. Because the revaluation is done on the date of acquisition only. Fixed assets 120. So 120 plus there is an increase of 20%, 144. So I'll write 144 or 144 lakh. Okay, I will put it at the end only. Getting this, I am giving the valuation has been done on the date of acquisition. And then investments 55, there is a decrease of 10%, 55 minus 10%, 49.5. And then current assets 70, 15% debentures, how much? 90, and current liabilities 50. So these two minus, because I told you just now I drew that for now the balance sheet figure, right? Asset side you add up, deduct this liability side, all assets minus external liabilities, you will get this amount, net worth or net assets. $123.5, am I right? Hey, we made a mistake, huh? Okay, there is a 15, one more item, loans and advance 15. Yeah, loans and advances 15. 138.8. See the simple logic, because I was not looking at the question properly. Take all the assets minus external liabilities is giving 138.8, 138.5, of which 70% is yours. $96.95. So the remaining, whatever is coming, are you paying more or less? You are paying less, you are getting more. So it's a capital profit or capital reserve. 36.35. It is 6 kada. Okay. 33.95. Don't focus on the numbers. Numbers may go here and there, but try to understand the logic. We are applying the same logic here. Cost of investment given directly. Pre-acquisition we made working note and we got it. 63 lakhs. Plus the share capital and capital reserve is not given. We have made indirect way of doing that. We got the total net worth. Don't take it directly there blindly. Of which you take only the 70%, because you are the owner for only 70%. You take the 70%, you do the calculation. The difference is either goodwill or capital profit. Okay, so this is how you can solve these questions, and this is a part number 2. We will come up with the part number 3, part number 4 also. What I want is, like, if you feel that the videos are helpful for you, please leave a comment and share it with your friends, so that will motivate me to make more videos. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.